we got Todd down by Pittsburgh here, and he has done a lot more modeling this year. Has invited me up to take a look at all the work he's done on the new cityscape. So, without further ado, here he is again.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on the NYSNA's Pittsburgh division, here in my little basement of Burnham. And we've completely redid the entire city, streets, roads, red lights, street signs, lighted clocks, movie theaters. Everything's been completely redone, redesigned, and there's about 400 LEDs lighting everything up here. There's 70 three-dimensional freestanding structures. There's 20 some backdrop buildings with LEDs and windows cut out inside, and it's the cityscape of Pittsburgh as I see it when I go into Pittsburgh on my helper set.
Nice.
And all the skyscrapers that you see here, the big ones, I took pictures of myself personally. And then I set and I cut out the windows, and it was featured in, I believe, 2011 Enska Railroading, April, May, I'm thinking, or June, July, whatever it was. But I did an article how I did it, and it came out really well, and I decided I wanted to make it a little bit nicer and do a little more things to it. And I still got a little corner here to do yet. I'm kind of stuck on that to what I want to do there, but the rest of it's all done. I put interiors in all the buildings. Some of the windows are blacked out, so it looks like different windows are lit, different stories are lit, and everything, not just sitting a bulb in it. And it came out pretty good, I think.
It's absolutely amazing. Night and day difference between this year and last year.
Everything's weathered. Everything's the roofs are weathered and painted properly, and I did little things like Pittsburgh, for instance, famous Permane Brothers is on here. The movie Flashdance, Mobby's Bar, I did that because I think it's cool. My wife's a sewer, so I put Becky's Sewing Center in. It's got interiors of sewing fabric and stuff inside. And of course, Esther's Hobby Shop, this little building was, these are done by Woodland Scenics. They're very, very, very well done. And this was a hobby shop, and I put Esther's on it and put the little things outside like you would see, and it's very similar to their building out there in Pittsburgh. And my granddaughter likes dressing up as princesses, so I made Emma's dress shop, or Emma's boutique. My daughter likes to cook pastries, which you know.
Oh yeah.
So I made Jess's pastry shop over here, and it's got the pastries inside and the racks and stuff of donuts and cupcakes and all that stuff. And my son-in-law's Smith, his family Smith Brothers TV and appliance store here, and naming different things after people. And my movie theater over there, the Working Marquee, it come out pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with it, and it's got the Star Wars marquee on it, so I like Star Wars. And so that came out pretty good. And there's a bicycle museum in Pittsburgh. Didn't know there was. I discovered it was. So one of my buildings I did were similar to the building, the bicycle museum. So I actually did the bicycle museum. So it's got bicycles outside like you see out there when they have their shows and stuff. And lots of activity. There's 150 some vehicles on here, you know, moving around. Some of them have headlights and taillights on them, and some don't. But
that's next year's project, right?
Yeah, it's down to their drainage ditches, the manhole covers, the red lights, the stop lights, the street signs. There's parking meters. There's flower boxes and flower pots all over the place that I built and stuff, and tried to make it come alive, you know, as much as I could. And like I said, this corner's caused me a little problems because I'm constrained. I don't want to hide my tunnel that I did and stuff, but I'll figure it out. And then the Heinz ketchup plant and stuff here, I don't want to do anything with that. In fact, those signs actually do work.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So it's coming out pretty good. And I moved my Budweiser building to here and put it there. And Iron City is really the beer of Pittsburgh, but can't get an Iron City truck or that, so that'll work for now. So
Gonna have to employ a 3D printer and somebody
Yeah.
with some good painting skills.
Yeah, well, there's ways to do it, but we'll get it. But I'm very happy with how it come out. It's again the darkness here without the lights under the heat runs here
Right.
gives it more of a Pittsburgh during the steel mill days look. The dreary,
Kind of
dark
smoggy
time.
a little bit.
And then you can see the building lights and stuff a little better too. And of course, in the dark, it's just unbelievable in the dark. Just crazy in the dark. And but
You've definitely put a lot of work into it this year.
yeah. This has been about a 6 months project, and just about every 2 days, I was taking one of the old buildings and making them what they are now. And basically, like this building, these buildings aren't done yet. See. So if I'm going to do this building, I'll have to slice it apart, paint and do the inside, cover up certain windows that I want to light or do, and then once it's done, there'll be an LED put in it so no light can show through it, and it'll be placed where I want to place it, and it'll be weathered and all that good stuff, and it'll be done and move on to the next one. So, and then basically when I'm done with this, I want to keep going this direction, and I'm basically going from here all the way around the layout and revitalizing it. Let's put it that way. I'm not redoing it, but the steel mill and stuff, I want to tear some of the track out of here and move the buildings around a little bit. I want to skin my electric furnace and stuff at some point and kind of make this a little more operational. As big as this layout is, it's still space constrained. You just don't have the room you'd like to have as big as it is, but it works. I have fun with it, and it's good enough, So we'll see it someday. We get there.
Now, you did say that you've gained almost 1,000 pieces since last year.
Yeah, pretty close.
It's a lot of train shows or ordering.
A lot of train shows, a lot of ordering. I bought a small collection, things like that. And, but it's going to have to slow down a little bit because I'm out of room. I don't have room to put anything. I got another little space here to put a case, but that's not going to do nothing. So I don't want to put cases under here because I got storage under here, so I can't do that. But we'll see. We'll see.
But it is definitely a beautiful layout as usual.
I appreciate that. It still has a little bit of tweaking yet to get the scenery a little better, and it'll get there.
There's always projects, right?
Well, the thing about it is too, and it's like I said, there's some layouts I've seen that are they're just spectacular, and there's some that I've seen that I thought was spectacular. I see them in person because the camera doesn't pick up the flaws and the mistakes like you see it in person.
Right.
So there's a little difference there, and this photographs pretty well, so get away with it. But like I put the radio towers up down there on the hill, and I'm going to light them at some point. I got the lights already to go and run them up in there and light them up, so it'll work. But it's slowly getting to where I want it to be, and another 9 months I'll be retired and I'll be able to concentrate a little more on it. Maybe do some different things and plant more trees and do that good stuff. So I still need probably 3,000 or 4,000 more trees.
If you hear that, Todd needs trees.
Yeah. So it works, but like I said, we like to collect and like to run and like to share it with everybody else. So, and I always say it, one car at a time, and you'll get there.
Well, today I got 3 cars at a time.
Yeah.
So, bought a 3-pack. So
I bought 2 cars today.
Oh.
I found 2 cars that I didn't have.
Once again, he strikes at the Altoona N-Scale convention.
Yeah. Good show.
Yes, it
Good show.
is.
It's a good time. And it's nice to get together with people and have people here and show their hobby. And, I could talk all night.
Did you notice how more busier it was today?
Very busy today.
Yes.
I think a lot of people came back because last year's show was very, very good. And I think this year's show was even a little better.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the promotion of you guys, you Big G, DJ, and the Iron City guys were out and about with their live Facebook things and stuff. Great group of guys, promote the hobby. You know, it's great.
Oh yeah.
And you know, it's gonna keep our hobby alive.
Yeah.
We have to keep this alive. You got to keep it moving, and you got to get young. And I've seen a lot of younger people there today.
Yeah.
A lot of younger people that were actually buying stuff and doing things, and so maybe there is a chance that this will keep growing.
It's amazing that you say that, because me and DJ at the show today, we actually were doing a video, and we took a look around, and he was like, if you think the hobby's dead, look at this.
Yeah.
And as you'll see in the videos of the convention, it's just, there's people everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, it was elbow to elbow at certain points of the day.
Trust me, I know that, because I was trying to look at things and people were pushing me out of the way. So
They didn't know that they were in royalty.
Well, I don't know about that. Just like, buddy, just give me a chance here. Let me check 3 things, and I'll be on my way. But it was a frenzy in some places today.
Oh yeah.
And when guys want it, they want it. I mean, that's the bottom line. But it's so neat to meet everybody and be around everybody, and like you said, I think DJ's right. I don't think the hobby's dead.
No.
I think it's coming alive, and it's getting better and better. It's gonna get stronger at some point.
Well, we got great vendors too. I mean, look at this year. The big boy came out with Kato.
Yeah.
I mean, I myself had told my wife, I was like, I'm gonna be tempted if I see one, and within 5 minutes of the show, I saw 3.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was on a layout. 2 of them were for sale.
Yeah.
And they wasn't. I know you are a DC guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a DCC guy. Mm-hmm. So I was looking for a DCC Kato, or Kato, however
Mm-hmm.
you want to pronounce
Kato,
it.
yeah.
And I couldn't find one. Had I done that,
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't be going and doing Hershey Park tomorrow because I wouldn't have the money for it.
Yeah.
I'd be going back to Murfreesboro to put it on the layout and run it around. So, but yeah, there's just stuff coming out all the time here lately.
Yeah, their Atlas is pumping stuff out. Microtrains is still making their great product. I mean,
oh yeah,
their wheels and cars are just second to none.
Right.
It's funny. There's I mean, some of the cars like the Intermountain cars and the Trainworks cars are extremely nice. They're beautiful cars, and Atlas is still making nice stuff too. But I don't see an end to it right now.
No.
And even as expensive as some stuff's getting, there's still people
willing to pay it.
Doing it. They're willing to pay it.
Yeah.
If they weren't willing to pay it, the manufacturers wouldn't be making
right.
it. So,
the only knock I think I see in the hobby from a manufacturing standpoint is, and I realize they need some of them, but everything seems to be order only at the moment for buying from a manufacturer.
Yeah, well, that's been an ongoing thing, I think, for a few years, and I'm sure the manufacturers could probably tell you better than me, but some of these places need the money up front now.
Right.
So if they don't get the orders for it, they can't place the order for it.
Right.
And they need so many to do it. It's not like the old days. The old days,
just pump them out.
You needed 10,000 of them.
Right.
Now they can do 500 of them, and they can do them for the same price as they could years ago for 10,000, because the technology's better. The computers do all the work. The pad printings are everything's printed nicer now and stuff, and the stuff's made better and better because it's all computer generated stuff. So that makes it a lot easier. It takes that human guy sitting there for weeks on end making a mold,
right,
or a die or whatever, and but. Running right now, I got 4 Katos on this. There's 4 Katos in your train. Down here, I have 2 Lifelikes and 3 Atlas engines on the airline, and they've been running here basically since 5:30 this afternoon.
Yeah.
So.
And the only derailment we had was because of what?
We had a fly on the track, and the train ran over it and derailed a gondola car, and it wrecked into the oil train, and we had a little bit of a mess, but we got it cleaned up.
And we got to see Todd in a different area of his layout that we normally don't get to see.
Right. When I have to be in that area, it's not a good thing. So
You did seem a little frustrated, but we've had a lot of laughs since then.
Yeah. It's frustrating when you have people here and that thing happens, but I just happened to see it land, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is what derailed this. It had to. There's nothing else there. There's no other explanation for it. That train's been running for the next 3 hours, and it didn't derail. So
No. And we chased that fly before everybody got here, too.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Me, you, and your granddaughter.
Yeah, and the granddaughter, too. Yeah, she was chasing it, too. But yeah, it's these things happen. It's human like everything else. So.
This just goes to show that even on a layout as well kept, ran, and operated on, that you still have the same thing. People's cameras were just beginning to turn on.
Yeah.
When the derailment hit.
Yeah, when it happened.
And I met a guy at the show today, and I was filming his train. He come up, and his train sputtered right in front of me and stopped. And he didn't know what was going on. He had picked a switch, didn't realize it. I didn't realize it because I was halfway down his train. And he said, he turned, he noticed who it was. We talked for a few minutes. And then he said, please don't put my train on camera because it was the road railers. And he said, I'm running it backwards. He said, because I set it up wrong and didn't realize it. And I told him, I said, I promise I've got your back if anybody. He said, I don't want to ruin your integrity of your channel. Yeah. And I told him, I said, we're here to have fun.
Yeah, that's right.
I said, accidents are going to happen. Yep. Things are going to run weird sometimes.
I seen that road row was being pulled by two Santa Fe GP60Ms and a B. And yeah, that was nice. It was a nice little size road railer. And I said, you know, they're running that backwards. And he says, only you pointed that out. And they said, oh, never mind. You know about these things. I said, yes. And I said, I have run road railers in my life. Yeah, lots of road railers. So.
Well, he was pretty embarrassed that he was running it backwards.
Yeah, he said, I noticed it, but I put it on backwards, and it's a pain in the butt to turn it around. So I just decided to try it backwards, and it was causing me them issues. But it was still nice, you know. And,
oh, yeah.
But these things happen.
Yeah.
You know.
You turn the camera on, and trains are going to go haywire sometimes.
Yeah, last night we ran these trains last night, and there was, I don't know how many people were here last night for all night long, and not one incident. Tonight a fly flies on the track and the train runs over it and it derails it and causes a whole calamity of mess. So, of course, you can't derail it out here in front where you can reach it. You got to derail it in the back. You got to crawl back under everything. But.
Well, I do have to say that was the first time I've ever seen anybody have to go and pull cars out with a yardstick. So, and the biggest pair of tweezers I've ever seen in my life. So. Yeah,
the wife found them on Amazon, and I thought, yeah, that might work.
Well, she made a believer out of me.
Oh yeah, I mean they're great. I mean,
yeah.
They work. And that was the reason we bought them. Is I had a pair of big ones and I can't find them. I don't know what to do with them. I don't know what to do with anything. But when I started the city here,
yeah,
I did this stuff first, and then I kind of did this, and then worked my way. So now I have this to do, and then I have over there to do. Well, guess what? You can't reach it. You can't reach it to set cars in place and all this. Now, when I do my buildings, I do them off-site, and I glue all the stuff on them first.
Okay.
All the people in the walks and the sidewalks and stuff I make, I do that all at first. So when I bring them here, the street signs, the people are already on it. I don't have to try to glue them on.
Nice.
When they're on the layout. So you do it off-site, you do it that way. But I kept telling her, I can't reach back there. So I said, I had a big pair of tweezers. She found them. They're 15 inches long. And they got nice big paddles on them, so I can hold them with my hands and I can reach back there and I can place stuff. Takes some skill to get used to it, but it works. And, it's coming out really well. I'm very, very happy with it. And
well, it's beautiful work. Definitely looks like there's plenty of life in the city, which is something that you don't see on some of the layouts.
Right, that's what you want. You want if you go to Pittsburgh and in certain places over there, it's busy. There's people on the sidewalks, there's cars, there's not places to park. Everything's happening. There's people sitting outside eating and walking, and there's a mailman delivering mail, the UPS guy delivering packages. There's just everything, everything you can imagine. And it, it's coming out. There's guys doing roofing. They're tarring the roof and and all that. So.
No, back on mine, I've got a. One thing I've always laughed at was the dog peeing on the fire hydrant. And I've got one on mine.
There is a dog peeing on the fire hydrant here somewhere, I think. And there's also a guy peeing on the pole back here.
Nice.
He's taking a leak back here too. The little street lights lit up, so
he might get shocked.
Yeah, you never know. This one here, I don't. Yeah, there it is. It is lit. Sometimes they don't show up as good unless it's in the dark. If you want to see this in the dark, I can turn the light off.
I mean, I'm not opposed. Everybody's kind of went home.
Yeah,
I'll keep the camera on it, and we'll see what we. Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Anything of that?
Todd, you did awesome work. The background buildings just are mind-blowing. I mean, you don't even know that they're background buildings.
No,
they look
they look very three-dimensional and
very much so.
And I'm friends at the Pittsburgh Born and Raised, and I'll put more completed scenes on there. And several people thought it was actually the skyline. They didn't realize it was a model. And then one guy posted, "Well, this is a model." So, but the building with the blue light on top, that building, I'd like to redo that building someday. But that's a way out in the project building, because that building is the golf building, and that changes colors according to weather.
Oh, nice.
So I just put a blue one in it, but I'd like to put several of these, let them blink and change. But around the top of it, it's stepped back and there's lights on it. So there's yellow lights lighting up the top of that, the cone part of it.
Oh, nice.
And I'd like to someday slice that apart, push it back in, and put LEDs behind it to light that top up someday.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. The one Oxford Center building is the one that's really not lit, because the windows on it are actually frosted.
Oh, okay.
And when unless it's extremely dark and it's clear, you can see kind of in the building. But the building has floodlights on the bottom of it, shining up on it.
Kind of like what you've got there.
And that's what I did. I simulated the light shining up on the building and tried to make it as realistic as possible. And
well, you have succeeded.
a friend of mine told me, he said, "I think when you're starting this project," he said, "I don't think you're gonna do what you think you're gonna do." And I said, "Well, we're gonna try it. We're gonna see." So the UPMC building had the most windows. It was the highest, biggest building. So that's what I started with. And when I lit it up and that's what it looked like, I'm like, yeah, I think this is gonna work. And I just kept,
trial and error.
kept going along with it. And they like the building with all the little cones lit on top. That's the Pittsburgh plate glass building, and that's what it looks like. They light up on top, and the whole building's glass.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. I've been in a few of those buildings. I've been in the UPMC building at the top. We ate lunch on top. I've been in the Pittsburgh plate glass building, and I walked by one Oxford Center to see it up close. So, and the other ones I've been around and by them. But
now, you said you took pictures of each one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Was that while you were parked on the railroad somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
or? Nice.
Yeah, the dispatchers would always send me to Pittsburgh because I never complained about going. And then they'd send me to Box 4 to turn around and come back, and I'd pull down there and stop,
Snap
get
some
my camera
shots.
out, take some pictures of the buildings at the angles I wanted, and get back in the engine and go back home. So, and there was a few times I get recruited over there too, and I walked around the parking lot and walked up to some of these things and shot them. But you needed a really clear day to do it.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think it came out pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with it. I was always a Pittsburgh nighttime fan, and
Well, I think you have nailed it completely. This is two different things that I got to see today that most people don't get to see.
right.
You getting a derailment taken care of, and then getting to see Pittsburgh at night lit up.
Yeah. Yeah, Roy shot a picture of it, put a short signal on his last thing, and you know, it's nice to get more of it showing in the dark because of what it looks like, and again, you try to, like, businesses usually have fluorescent lights, so they show up white.
Right.
Residential buildings usually have incandescent bulbs, so they show up yellow. That's what if you look at houses, they show up yellow. So that's what I try to do. I try to put yellow LEDs in the top floors of the apartment buildings, and then white ones in all the businesses below. And then that kind of gives you that residential business look between the two. So.
And I love the fact that you're like me. You're trying to get the interiors done.
Yeah. Now the Woodland Scenics come with interiors.
This is true.
The only thing that I really should have done, and I probably shouldn't even bring this up, is I should have put people in some of them, and I did not. And I'm surprised that Woodland Scenics did not do that, put people inside like they're, you know.
Well, take it from someone who did. They don't show up as well as you think they
Well,
would.
yeah, that's the other thing too, but I mean, that's something that I don't think most people would even pay attention to.
I definitely have to get that marquee in.
There's just so much. Yeah, that theater is just.
And you said you built the marquee, didn't you?
I made the marquee. There's 60 LEDs on there.
It is awesome.
There's 120 wires coming off the back of it.
It just caught my attention just a second ago. I hit the right angle.
It is insane, and it looks like they're chasing each other like the real thing. So.
Excellent work.
There's two bulbs that work when I tested it. When I got it together, they burn out. But
Oh.
I wasn't taking it back apart. So we need some maintenance done. And of course, Bobby's Bar. That's just something that's really cool. And the Permani Brothers.
Well, I definitely appreciate the invite, and it was definitely worth coming and seeing, if nothing else, just the city lit up. I mean, night to day difference.
Yeah, it's
and when you turn the light off, I mean, I've got it on the video. I left the video running the whole time. And it's just absolutely amazing.
That really looks.
And I know if it looks this good on the video on here, that it's gonna be amazing.
Way to get it down.
Oh yeah,
big screen. Yeah.
I've got another project for you to work on. A transition from, I've seen it years ago, and the guy did it with Christmas lights, like the C3, C5 lights, going from daytime to dusk, and then the lights coming on.
Yeah, I've seen that before done too, and it's really cool.
Yeah, and then maybe you could put fireworks in the back, because he did it on his.
That's a lot of work too.
I know it's a lot of work, but you're getting ready. You're getting ready to be retired,
well,
so
we retire. We'll talk. Yeah.